So it's a really overcast day today. So I checked the weather forecast and it looks like the wind isn't gonna get crazy in the next few days. So I don't want my plants to be weak. I have all of them covered with like milk jugs, but they can't be like that forever, you know? And it's gonna be time soon to put them in cages, and as much as I wanna baby them, I can't do that forever. If a couple of them die, then a couple of them die. But I go through this every year. I think I just need to have a kid because I'm just always constantly trying to baby my plants to death. And sometimes that is true. I baby them to literal death. So I'm gonna uncover some of these and see what happens. Hopefully a freak storm doesn't come out of nowhere, because that's my luck. The idea of having little mini greenhouses, but they're gonna grow out of it. So we can't do that forever. I can't wait to show you my wind-proof hack for my tomatoes. See how it's growing out of here? We don't want that. We don't want them to be so weak that all they depend on is this little mini greenhouse. I really dig them in there deep for the storms, but beautiful. I'm excited for these plants in particular. This whole row is a breed of tomatoes called the Kellogg's tomato because they're so sweet, and when they're ripe they're just these huge yellow beefsteak looking tomatoes, and I'm so excited to eat them. All right, let's go to this one next. Look at that. See how there's still like some burning right here, some yellowing? I think that's from the milk jugs. On really hot days, I think it burns them if it touches that plastic for too long. I could be wrong. See, yeah, this one has like dead leaves only on the ends. I think it's because the milk jug was burning it. Let's keep going. They were growing out of the tops. Bond was just dying to get out. Sorry, buddy. I'm letting you out. See how burnt it looks compared to a couple of those? Ah, I hate that. I think I left them on a little bit too long. It's hotter than it was last year around this time of year. Does that make sense? Guy is really pretty. Look at him. Just took his little milk jug off. He's looking pretty good. Yay. Oh, this one's a big one. Look. He's trying to get out of the top. Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, it's starting to sprinkle. So now that I got all of these cages off, I decided it's such a pretty day. The next few days are supposed to be kind of pretty. I'm thinking maybe I need to put cages on now, tomato cages. And I think what I'm gonna do is my little trick to keep the wind out of it. But I don't know. That's the hard thing about gardening, is that you just never know when the very perfect time is gonna be to do something. And there's no one there to tell you that there is. You just have to go for it and hope for the best. Sprinkling a little bit. Here's my pool garden. I took some of the milk jugs and things off of some of my peppers, and now I just got my fingers crossed that the animals don't come in and tear all that up, because I'm gonna be mad if that happens. They almost like know that I would be mad too. They're acting really funny. Come here. Give me this golf ball. Thank you. Ah, I hope this works. Hey, I'm just gonna go for it. It is raining, but I really want to get these cages on my tomatoes because it's a very tedious process. Kale and I made all of these cages with his parents by hand, and they were a lot of work. So I have at least 50 of them, and I am going to be doing my trick. I'll show you, hold on. I just want to say, until you live in Kansas or anywhere where wind gets above 50 miles an hour sometimes, just on a regular day, do not judge me for putting saran wrap on my tomato cages, okay? This has worked wonders for me. It did great last year. Last year was the first year I tried it out, and I just love it. I leave a little bit of space at the bottom of the cage so that the tomato plant gets lots of airflow. But other than that, it works wonders. So I'm gonna get to work. Here's a progress update. I got a couple done here. I am only making it come up to here because once they get a little bit taller than that, they're on their own. Okay, so I'll show you how I'm doing this, but while I'm doing it, I just want to talk about the things that I think about when I'm doing stuff like this by myself at the house. So Zach's very busy. He's planting. He has to work all day, every day, and that's fine. But my biggest priority is keeping myself and my animals safe while I'm doing this, and I'll never forget the story of that guy. He actually just popped up on my For You page this morning, and I had no idea I was going to be doing this today, and it reminded me to be careful. So this guy, I would say he's kind of widowed because his wife, he is his caretaker for his wife. She's still alive, but she has a very, very bad traumatic brain injury. It is brutal, and the reason why, hold on. And the way that she got injured was she was working in the garden one day and she had one of these freak accident. We don't know exactly how it happened because we weren't there, right? But this was sitting in a perfect position. She was working in the garden while he was at the gym, and she fell and it went through her left eyelid, I believe, and pierced her brain all the way to the back of her skull. And it messed her up. He had to come home and find her that way, take her to the emergency room. Of course, the cops believed that he had something to do with it because it was such a weird freak accident. But once he was ruled out, he became her caretaker, and he just got on TikTok today. Today is, gosh, I don't even know, May 13th, the day before Mother's Day. And he's coming out and saying that he is getting a divorce with her, and she's not even going to know it, and people are dogging him for that. And I'm just like, he's got to live his life and find himself. His whole life revolves around taking care of his wife, who was in an awful accident. I would want my husband to move forward if that happened to me. Like, it's a blessing. It's awesome that he's even taking care of her. So you're working in the garden and you're stumbling around cages and stuff, you need to really be careful around tomato cages because they can be really sketchy. Most of my cages look like this, so I'm not too worried about it, but there's still a possibility to get hurt. I've tripped over these things a few times. It is not fun. Okay, we are coming along. Got those cages ready to be put on. I'm gonna run out of posts before I run out of cages. Okay, so close to being done. I've been staking them all in. I'm running out of posts, like I said, but this is working pretty good. Okay, so here is the final product. It probably took me about 7 hours to complete. I think there's about 35 tomato plants. If I missed anything or didn't film something that you want to know how I did it, let me know if that even made sense. Okay, I love you, bye.